Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is observed every year across the United States, but for many people, it has slowly turned into just another day off work. That is a mistake. This day exists for a reason, and its message is far more relevant today than most people realize. Martin Luther King Jr. was not just a civil rights leader, he was a strategist, a speaker, and a disruptor of systems that were built to exclude and divide. His work in the 1950s and 1960s challenged racial segregation, voter suppression, and economic injustice at a national level. What made his approach powerful was not just what he fought against, but how he fought. Nonviolence was not passive. It was deliberate, disciplined, and deeply uncomfortable for those in power. Dr. King believed that injustice anywhere threatened justice everywhere. That idea alone explains why his legacy continues to matter decades after his assassination. The problems he spoke about were not limited to one era. Inequality, discrimination, and social division did not disappear. When laws changed, they evolved. Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a federal holiday in 1983, and it was first observed nationwide in 1986. The purpose was never meant to be celebration alone. It was meant to be reflection and action. That is why the holiday is officially recognized as a day of service. The idea is simple. Honor Dr. King not just with words, but by doing something that strengthens your community. One of the most misunderstood parts of Dr. King's legacy is how radical his ideas actually were. He spoke openly about economic inequality, criticized unchecked capitalism, and warned that racism and poverty were deeply connected. These messages are often softened or ignored today because they make people uncomfortable. Comfort was never his goal. Change was in recent years. Martin Luther King Jr. Day has taken on renewed significance. Social justice movements, voting rights debates, and conversations about equality have brought his words back into public focus. Quotes from his speeches circulate widely online, but context matters. Dr. King did not speak in slogans. He spoke in demands. He demanded accountability, fairness, and moral courage. It is also important to remember that Dr. King was not universally popular during his lifetime. Polls from the 1960s showed that many Americans disapproved of him and his methods. History has a way of polishing legacies, but progress rarely feels comfortable when it is happening in real time. That is one of the biggest lessons his life teaches us. Today, schools, organizations, and communities across the country mark Martin Luther King Jr. Day with service projects, educational programs, and public discussions. These are not symbolic gestures. They are reminders that equality is not self-sustaining. It requires effort, participation, and sometimes sacrifice. Dr. King once said that the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice, but only when people push it. That statement is often shortened, but the responsibility behind it is what matters. Justice does not happen automatically. It happens because individuals decide to act. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is not about looking backward with nostalgia. It is about looking forward with responsibility. It asks a simple but difficult question. What are you doing with the freedoms others fought to secure? If this day becomes just another holiday on the calendar, then its purpose is lost. But if it serves as a moment to reflect, learn, and contribute, then Dr. King's legacy remains alive and active.